Good evening. Welcome to Spotlight, a laser of artistic light cutting through the dullness of everyday life.
Spotlight, brought to you by the Isle of Man Arts Council.
This evening, the deadline date for this year's Guild looms, and there are 4 new classes for you to sink your artistic teeth into. Kensington Arts Centre is introducing a new creative writing course. And how do you fancy drawing someone without their kit on? Or taking your kit off and letting someone draw you? I speak to New York Yorker Kim Graziano about the Isle of Man Drawing Club. Hello, my friend. I hope you've had a lovely day. Thank you very much for joining me tonight in this episode of Spotlight. Now, the Sherlock Holmeses amongst you will probably have picked up that I am not Howard, although it would be understandable if you didn't. I have been told I have a deep voice for a woman. Howard is on the other side of the world in Australia, probably trying to avoid spiders the size of an elephant's face. And whilst he's gone, I'm looking after Spotlight for him. I'm Rhianne Evans. Lovely to meet you if we haven't met already. Welcome to the show. Starting under the spotlight today is the 2024 Manx Music, Speech and Drama Festival. Founded in 1892, the Guild, as it's also known, aspires to keep up with the ever-changing times by introducing new classes every year. I spoke to Chairperson of the Guild, Anne Clark, who told me more.
Well, first of all, we've got a very exciting new piano class. We can have up to 8 hands on the piano at the same time. Or, in other words, as many people as you can sit on the piano stool. So it can be trios, duets, quartets, it's up to you. An own choice piece, but not any of the other set pieces. It's for any age, junior or adult, or a mixture. The only stipulation is that teachers mustn't form any part of your ensemble, but anybody else. Be great. We've also got a completely new class this year, which is Have a Go. And this is aimed at any newcomers to any festival such as ours. You've got to be a complete novice, really, but someone who's been dying to have a go on the Royal Hall stage. It gives people a chance to get up there and do something. There's a time limit of 4 minutes to perform a song, an instrumental piece, a spoken word piece, or a dance. And you can come and have a go and see what the festival's all about. Now, this class is not marked. We're not giving marks, but there will be adjudicators' comments. So it should be quite nice, and nobody need feel nervous about entering. Then we've got a class for Little Stars, which is a class for reception age performers only. Performers must be in reception at the year of the festival, and they've got 2 minutes to do their song, dance, drama piece, or a solo instrument. This class is non-competitive, and it's an introduction to the festival for little ones. And all these performers will receive adjudicator comments to help them develop their talents. We've also got new dance classes. We've extended the dance classes to modern dance solos for up to year 6, up to year 10, and year 11 and over. So those are the new classes. And I would like to remind people of the drag class. Now, we did have a drag class which was introduced last year, and it wasn't the success that we hoped for. The people who took part were very good, but we did hope for more. And I hope that this year we may get a wider selection and a few more people in, because I believe the drag scene is quite vibrant.
Mm-hmm. I remember you introducing that class last year, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant, that you introduced that class. I thought, what a fantastic step forward.
Yes, well, it didn't step forward as far as we wanted it to. So this year I hope we'll drag them in a bit more.
Excellent, nice. Excellent pun.
Yes.
And the Have a Go class, I was thinking before, how do you sort of encourage people who maybe have wanted to perform in the Guild for a long time but are a bit too nervous about performing? But you answered my question with that new category. I think that's such a fantastic class to introduce.
Yes. Well, I hope people will have a go and not be nervous, because people who have performed at the Guild, even when they've been children in choirs, you never ever forget being on the Royal Hall stage. And I think quite a lot of people think, oh, I'd love to have a bash at that, but they just haven't got the nerve. But the Guild is a very friendly festival and very encouraging, and we do encourage anybody to come along. And incidentally, while I'm saying that, if anyone wants to get more involved with the Guild, we're always on the lookout for people to help as stewards throughout the week. And you can contact the festival secretary for more details of that. But there again, they're a very friendly lot. It's not hard work, and you're always put with somebody who was supposed to know what they're doing. But it all works out very well, and a good time is had by all.
The closing date for entries is fast approaching. So
Yes.
when do people need to have their entry in for?
Well, the entries have got to be in on Saturday, the 3rd of February. There is no late closing date. And entry details are available on www.manxmusicfestival.org.
And my final question, where do you get the inspiration for the new classes that you come up with each year?
Well, the Guild is run by an executive committee, and we have meetings, sometimes known as arguments, several times a year, and we decide on that. We also take great note of what people suggest. Every year we ask for the audience suggestions and for competitors' suggestions, and that way we build. We're sometimes accused of not moving with the times, but the Guild is evolving all the time. It may evolve slowly, but our motto is that evolution is better than revolution. And when you look back, say 50 or 60 years at the programmes from then, what we're doing now is tremendously advanced, and we're advancing all the time.
Chairperson of the Guild, Anne Clark there. And remember, the closing date for entries is the 3rd of February. So make sure to get your entry in on time, or forever live a life of regret.
Spotlight, brought to you by the Isle of Man Arts Council.
There's a common phrase that says everyone has a novel inside them. It doesn't specify whether the novel is good or not. So have you been sitting on an idea for a long time and just haven't been able to get your creative juices flowing? If so, Kensington Arts Centre might be able to help you. Before Howard went away, he spoke to the Creative Development Coordinator at the Kensington Arts Centre, Emma Goodson, who told him about a new course coming up that might whet the appetite of the creative writers amongst you.
We are hoping to launch soon a new creative writing offer, with Jo being the teacher or the project leader, and it's going to be more of a set structured course, which you will kind of pay in advance, sign up, and then it will be a closed group. So unlike our more relaxed drop-in sessions, this will be for those that really want to hone in their skills and kind of come out at the end as a new sort of writer, established writer, hopefully, perhaps. We're really excited about that. Definitely some of our participants that go to the drop-in sessions already on Thursdays are kind of keen for that offer to be out there. So we will be announcing that soon. And we hope that Jo can come back and speak to you, because she's got lots of experience and she's a very interesting person, and she can tell you kind of exactly what will be on that programme.
Marvellous. Watch this space, as they say. So we'll hopefully be speaking to Jo here on Spotlight in a few weeks. Another offering I know been vaguely mentioned on the music. Now, obviously, people think a lot about the practical side of music, playing instruments, the recording side of music, your sound check, etc. But also, you're talking about music theory.
Yeah, this is still in the early stages of planning, but we are hoping to launch a music theory offer soon. So maybe within the next couple of weeks. So when this goes out, we might already have announced that. So do, again, look on our social media for that. But basically, that will be open to children that want to learn maybe how to read music, for example, and this will be an accessible offer. And there's, at the moment, there seems to be a bit of a gap on music theory that's outside of school. So if you need an extra support in that, then Kensington Arts wants to be able to help you. So yes, very excited to launch that as well.
Brilliant. And again, hopefully we'll be able to bring you more on that. And as Emma says, stay in contact or take a look with the social media pages for KA and you'll find all the details there. Do you have a sort of, I know it's quite early doors in many ways, but do you have a sort of vision of where you'd like to go with KA, or sort of things you'd like to expand or such like in the future? I know it's a bit unfair, you haven't been there that long, so I'm not expecting to...
Yeah, I mean, there's so much potential at Kensington Arts. We obviously do have quite a lot already going on, but I'm definitely wanting to, again, expand the offer that we have for adults, because it's still quite youth heavy at the moment. But we definitely, are looking to expand the offer for adults. And also I want to develop the visual art side of things. I have a fine art background. I studied fine art at university as an undergrad. So that's, close to my heart and something that I'm passionate about. And Kensington Arts, the building was originally Douglas School of Art, where Archibald Knox was first a student and then a teacher himself. So with the visual arts, if we expand that programme, we're kind of bringing it back to the roots, which I kind of like that sort of poetic.
It is, isn't it? Coming full circle,
yes,
as it were.
Exactly.
That sounds terrific. Well, listen, lovely to talk to you and catch up. We look forward to hearing lots more exciting plans. I know there's always exciting stuff going on there. It's great to hear some ideas you've got there going forward. And also, as you say, expanding it out in that I think it's true. People may be very much associated with youth, and it still very much is, but there's going to be more offerings for people of any age, really,
yes.
if they're wanting to get into, like I said, whether it's music theory, whether it's creative writing, poetry, various other strands of the art. There's going to be more offerings coming up in months and years to come at KA to help people out of any age who might be wanting to expand their artistic repertoire, I suppose we could say, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Art and creation should be for everyone, is for everyone, and we want Kensington Arts to be a place where everyone can develop their creative expression.
Marvellous. So just finally then, people want the details. We mentioned they can go online. Where's the best place to go to stay up to date and see what's going on?
So you can look at our website, which is kensingtonarts.im. We also have a Facebook page and an Instagram. So yes, follow us on there.
And one other medium we hadn't actually mentioned, but has been very popular over the last several years, and we've featured on Spotlight once or twice, is some of the digital art and working in sort of digital formats, as it were.
Yeah, so we've actually just relaunched Wild Track. It's now, the full title is Wild Track Digital Art Club, and that is for young people of secondary school age, and it's on Fridays from 4 till 6, and that's all about digital art, so from photography to filmmaking, graphic design. If any of those things spark your interest, then you'll probably love that offer that we have. At the moment, we've just started a project on stop motion. So the group are going to be creating a small stop motion film, stop motion animation, and the end product is actually going to be used as kind of a bit of an advertising and an advert for Kensington Arts. So we're going to put it on our social media and on our website. So you have the opportunity to have work that you've created available to the public.
Seen by everyone.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Seen by lots of people, possibly all over the world. So that's a really exciting opportunity to get involved with.
Kensington Arts Centre's Emma Goodson there speaking with Howard.
Spotlight. Brought to you by the Isle of Man Arts Council.
And finally tonight, have you ever tried life drawing? I've done it once on a friend's hen do. I thought it was a great original idea for a hen do. and I was appallingly bad at it. So bad, in fact, that one of the girls on the trip actually got annoyed with me. But I'm sure you will be a lot more successful if you decide to give it a try. Kim Graziano is the brains behind the Isle of Man Drawing Club, and she told me a little bit more about it.
The Isle of Man Drawing Club is a after-work social event series, primarily offering life drawing sessions in pubs and bars and art venues across the island for artists and hobbyists to practice life drawing in a communal environment.
And when you say life drawing, I'm an art novice, so what is life drawing?
So life drawing is drawing from life, as in an alive thing, usually a human model with no clothes on.
Ah, okay. Do you get many people who are happy to do that?
Yes. So I've been running the club since 2017. So over the years, I've had many models. Some come, some go. Some people model just once. There are some people who enjoy being nude in their regular life, so it translates well into this experience. But I've also had people who sort of do the one-off experience. I've had pregnant models who want to celebrate their pregnant body. I've had people who just said it was on their bucket list to pose nude once. And they do, and I say, please come back, like, we need more models. But yeah, over the years, I've had no shortage of people willing to take their kit off.
That's really good. So, how did you come up with the idea?
So I am from New York originally, and I went to design and illustration uni in New York, and part of that curriculum was so much life drawing. So I would do these 5-hour classes of just drawing models, and it was amazing, and it was so important for my art practice. But also, I would do life drawing outside of school. So there is like a concept in New York called the drink and draw. I believe it was popularized by the artist Molly Crabapple, but that could be wrong. But it just the idea that you could go to bars and hang out with other artists and draw from models. And usually they would be, like burlesque stars or a bit like alternative personalities. And it was a way to have like an after work event that was like a little bit boozy and meet some people in your community and practice your skills. So I loved that concept, and I attended a few when I lived in New York. But then when I moved over here in 2016, that concept did not exist here. And I had moved over. I was working for myself. I was trying to make friends. And I thought, great, I'll go to a drink and draw. But it didn't exist. And so I sat on the idea for about a year. And I didn't know anybody. So the idea that me, a come-over, was going to start this new concept seemed very scary. But over the first year of living here, I met so many people and asked about life drawing, and everyone sort of thought, oh, that would be a fun thing to do. And I thought, well, no one else is going to do it, so I guess I'll have to start it.
Oh, I love that story. That's a really nice background story, origin story. And what have people's responses been like?
Yeah, so ever since the very first event, which was, at that point I didn't have models. I just wanted to start like a drawing group in general. So we met in the ground floor of the British, and I just said, like, just come, there's no ticket entry, bring your sketchbooks, and we're all going to draw each other. So it ended up being more of like a networking, practice drawing portraits kind of session. And that I just put on social media. We had probably 35 people at that first event. And then at that event, I was like, okay, I'm glad you're all here, but what we really want to do is life drawing. So I'm going to sort this out and get back to you. And so at the time, I had been taking a burlesque fitness class, and I thought that teacher would probably be a good model. So I sent her a little message being like, hello, I know this is insane. Would you like to pose naked for me and 30 strangers? And she said, sure thing. And also I paid her quite well. So, so yeah, she agreed to pose for us. And I hired out the embassy room upstairs at the British, charged tickets to cover the higher fee and the model's fee. And yeah, pretty much from then we've been selling out sessions. So now I do the events on average twice a month. Now we're upstairs at 1886. That's our current venue most of the time. And yeah, normally we have about 30 people, all ages, all skill levels. And yeah, we have a great time.
Brilliant. And you kind of touched on it then, but I was going to ask, do you have to be good at drawing to come to drawing club?
Not at all. So I think some people think that it's like an art lesson, but it's not. It's really like a hosted, guided experience, but you're bringing your own art supplies. You're just sort of doing whatever you want. I'm going to lead you through. I'm going to start us off with some short poses. We do a few drawing exercises. We take a few scheduled breaks, but we work our way up to these longer poses. And to be honest, you don't even have to follow what I'm telling you to do. It's just more of a guide. No one's looking at your paper. Everyone's looking at what they're doing. And at the end of the session, I tell everyone to look through all of their drawings from the night, pick their personal favorite, and then everybody sets out their drawing and gets up and looks at everybody else's. And that is the most fun. But you can see the range of skill levels. And some people get a little shy and just close their sketchbook and leave. And that's allowed. I'm not going to force anyone to do anything. But then you see the art teachers from the uni who like to come. They show us all up. And, we have actual animators and artists and architects, just all different professions, along with, kids who are in college now trying to get that life drawing experience because as far as I know, they don't have the offerings that I did when I was in uni. They're not having these multiple 5-hour-long life drawing classes. So this is one of the few opportunities to build your portfolio in that way.
It sounds like a really lovely vibe. So what events have you got coming up? If someone is listening to this and thinks, oh, that's a bit of me, I'd like to give that a go, where can they find out more?
Well, we'd love to have you. Everyone is welcome. I would say follow us on social media. We're at Isle of Man Drawing Club on Facebook and Instagram. Right now, I have events published and ticketed and ready to go up until June. So it's roughly every 3 weeks or so you can attend. They're always on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and they're from 7 to 9 p.m. On the top floor of 1886 in Douglas.
Nice. And do you get lots of new people or is it predominantly regulars?
That's a good question. I would say it's probably half and half. It's definitely a nice thing to see familiar faces. I'm not great with names, so it is always embarrassing when I'm like, I've known you for years, but what's your name again? So yeah, I would say it's a mix. But yeah, also a lot of people just come by themselves. Don't feel like you have to bring a friend. It's all very friendly. And yeah, we'd be happy to have you.
If someone is new to art but really wants to come along and you sort of mentioned bringing your own supplies, where would be a good starting point for someone to purchase those things?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you can bring whatever you have, really. If you have an iPad and an Apple Pencil, bring that. If you bring, paper you stole from the work printer and a biro, that's also fine. People bring all sorts of stuff. Some people, over the years, I've had people bring clay. I've had them bring full watercolor paint sets. You really can bring whatever you want, but don't feel like you have to bring the good stuff. Just bring an old notebook you got for your 8th birthday with a pen you found. It's fine, whatever you want to work with.
Yeah.
But also, there are a couple lovely art shops around the island if you want to go for the good stuff. But if you're just getting started, there's no pressure to have good supplies.
Do you have any sort of specific memories that are quite special to you in terms of your time starting Drawing Club up till now?
I mean, I've been doing it for so long that it's been actually a really big part of my life on the Isle of Man. I feel like I've made a lot of connections through the island. It's got my name out there. It's helped my own freelance business as well. But yeah, especially finding the models has been really interesting because that's been a way that I've actually met some of my favorite people. I've met friends who have since moved away, but we've kept in touch because they started as models. And it's always funny when I'm introducing my friend to someone and they go, how do you met? And I'm like, oh, I paid for them to take their clothes off. So yeah, really value them. But also I just love Drawing Club. I know I get really sentimental about it, but that feeling at the end when everyone's walking around and looking at each other's art and just complimenting each other. And they've spent 2 hours being creative and making time for their creative practice. And it's a lovely thing. And I feel proud of it, but also it's the thing of even if I hadn't made it, I would attend it. I'm just happy it exists.
The brilliant Kim Graziano there. And that's about it for tonight's Spotlight. I say that's about it. That is it. I have no more content to fill the time with. But do remember to get in touch with any creative artistic endeavours you may be involved in, planning, hoping to create, or would really like to put under the spotlight. Be they poetic, theatrical, musical, literary, ceramic, sculpted, drag, film, mime, social media, interpretive dance, or any of the others I've no doubt forgotten. Just email me at spotlight@manxradio.com, or if you'd like to message me directly on rhiannevans@manxradio.com, spelt RHIANEVANS@manxradio.com. So don't forget, if you want to hear anything again, head on over to manxradio.com and download the Spotlight podcast and listen where and when you want. Why not try it to drown out the incessant voices in your head telling you to eat the entire gallon of mint chocolate chip ice cream. See you next week. And until then, look after yourselves, and whatever you're doing, be creative about it.